Hello, my name's Dean Jones and I'm the Bard of Buckingham, and this is a poem called Her Last 50p. On Monday evening I'm going to be sleeping out for a charity called CEOs Sleep Out, and this charity raises awareness over the issues of homelessness and also raises money to support local charities who do great work in alleviating the problems of homelessness, understanding them and channeling money in such a way that it really helps sort the issue out. So hopefully after listening to this poem you'll be kind enough to make a donation, but otherwise please just enjoy the poem called Her Last 50p. The shops were opening up, and as a family we went out. It was the Easter holidays on a Thursday. It felt good to walk about. We had lunch in a pub garden. It was warm under the sun. We each placed our orders online. Being out again was so much fun. After lunch, we paid our bill and sat out on the grass. Seeing all those people really felt first class. My daughter chased the bubbles made by the man who sold balloons. Without challenges or troubles, we really enjoyed our afternoon. We bought our favourite ice creams. I bought my wife some souvenirs. Face masks hang loosely from our pockets, so accustomed now to our fears. We gave money to a busker who let us take a photograph of him standing in his costume. He really made us laugh. We walked along the high street, made our way back to the car. It was the perfect afternoon, and we hadn't gone too far. My wife popped to the toilet, and while I paid the parking fee, and a homeless man was sitting with a blanket next to me. I couldn't get the ticket. It was frustrating, there's no doubt. My debit card stopped working and I couldn't work it out. The homeless man said, "Try the other one. That one's on the blink." "Thanks," I said, from the heart. It really made me think. I know why he was sitting there. Lots of people there with money. But I only had a debit card and it made me feel quite funny. I felt torn and slightly compromised, and I felt the need to give. After such a perfect afternoon, what different lives we live. Whilst all of this was happening, my son and daughter saw the man, and my daughter felt the same as me, and when things didn't go to plan, I went back to them and told them, "I think I've got a faulty card." My daughter called me forward and said, "Daddy, that man's life looks very hard." I said, "Yes, I think it is hard. I thought the same thing too." She said, "Daddy, can I ask you something? Can I whisper it to you?" She said, "You know my birthday money?" "Yes," I said. "Well, this is my last 50p. If I give it to the man, can you pass it on to him for me?" I paused for just a moment because it really touched my heart that a 9-year-old could recognise that this man's life was worlds apart. I reached into my pocket. I had a 50p to offer too. I walked over to the man and said, "My daughter has this gift for you." "Thanks," he said, quite normally. I hugged my daughter proudly. "I'm really proud of what you just did." I intentionally said it rather loudly. My wife came back and heard me and said, "What was that about?" She gave her birthday money to that man to help him out. She hugged my daughter lovingly, and with a debit card in her hand, she paid the parking meter, and as we left, I thanked the man. And it reminded me that everything we'd done in just one day was more than in a week he'd do, and that his plight wouldn't go away. And I thought about my daughter and her last 50p, and it gave me hope that in the future, the man might be saved eventually, by people like my daughter and her last 50p, that we might be able to find solutions with this sort of generosity. If she can give up her 50p, then surely you can too. If we all donated our last 50p's, just think what we could do.